Hello, you are watching Over the Back Fence, a conversation with neighbors. I'm Susan Laux. I'm the director of Neighborhood Falmouth, and this is a production of Neighborhood Falmouth. Today, our conversationalists include Marian Bihari, Mary Pat McKenzie, Jackie Pratt, Grant Willis, and I'm Susan. Our conversation this episode is going to be about favorite movies. And as always, with all of our topics, you can take this in any direction you want. It could be the video that you shot on your phone yesterday. It's whatever you want to do, however you want to answer it. Who's going to start? Grant, you're our guy. Favorite movie?
I love World War II movies, and my favorite two movies in that genre are the two sides of World War II. Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, that was a good one.
Normandy Invasion, and Schindler's List.
Oh. Wow.
So the other side, the non-combatant side, I guess.
Wow.
And I don't know if I'd watch them over and over again, because both of them are fairly longish, but those just bring me right back. I mean, I come back and I start pulling books off the bookshelf saying, oh yeah, okay, let me look that up, what I saw, see if it's correct. And yeah, those I have a dual choice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Your war experience must be really influential in all of this. Marian, what were you going to say?
Well, it's funny when he said that, because when you decided on this topic, I was trying to think which movies I would want, that have made some kind of impact on me. And I wrote down Schindler's List. And I think we've talked about this before. This was the first time I could watch a movie about World War II, because 3 of my grandparents were in the Holocaust and died. So I was never able to watch anything about it. And then Steven Spielberg came out with this movie, and very, very reluctantly, I went to see it. And it was very, very difficult for me. And I know I was, at the end of it, I was sitting there sobbing. And when I spoke to my sister, she had the same reaction. But it was an incredible movie. And Schindler really, there were bad parts and good parts, but he really saved so many Polish Jews that it was just an incredible movie, like Grant said. And so when we were going to have a topic, that was the first thing that I thought of. It's, it's not a joyous movie, but it has left a real, what the word I can't even describe. It just left something inside me. And I saw it once. I have not seen it again, but so that was the movie that I also picked.
I don't think you could watch either of those movies without having them and right. being in tears throughout the movie at either of those movies.
And the little girl in the red coat.
Yeah.
If you've seen that movie. I mean, it just, everything was black and white and just cold. And here is the little girl in the red coat. So anyway.
Putting the stones on top of each other at the end.
Right.
The modern day.
Right.
Cut.
Yeah. You both have such personal experiences with this topic. Yeah, it's a whole different movie experience. What about either of you, Jackie or Mary Pat?
Grant had asked me before we started about what was my favorite movie, and I saw the original Disney Fantasia, as a small child, and I loved it. I loved it. Occasionally it would be on the, it would be, parts of it would be on TV, and on the, back in the era of the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yes.
But I loved that movie. I absolutely adored it. And the other thing that came to mind immediately is it wasn't that it wasn't just the movie, it was the circumstance. My stepfather would very often take us out on a Saturday afternoon, and he'd take us to the movies. And he was supposed to take us to see something, and I don't remember what that was, but he stopped for a couple of drinks. And that was when people actually took children into bars. And so at any rate, he took us into the bar and sat us down with a Coke and some treats that we wouldn't have gotten at home, I think potato chips or something. And we overstayed for the opening of whatever film we were supposed to see. And he said, "That's all right, we'll catch the next show." And so at any rate, we went, and the next show was Some Like It Hot.
Oh.
And I remember the lecture on the way home of you're not to tell your mother what we saw.
Oh, Jackie, that's great. How did you spend your afternoon, kids? Well, after we were at the bar, we went to Some Like It Hot. After the potato chips at the bar.
Oh, we weren't going to say anything about that because we knew it wouldn't happen again. No. So it probably says something about my personality that I kept weighing about, will it be an opportunity for blackmail?
That's cool.
What did this get me? But yeah. There have been an awful lot of other movies, including the two that we talked about.
But there are a lot of good ones. Oh yeah. My gosh.
One thing that jumped out at me too when we were talking about it is there was this very obscure subtitled Swedish movie that I saw when I was in college, and it was called Elvira Madigan. And
oh yes,
Yes,
I've seen it.
Yes.
And it was so lyric. The cinematography was so beautiful, and it was so lyric that kind of jumped out. And I do remember that I had a lovely date who was going crazy because he said you really can't be enjoying this, are you? I said, yes, I am. Would you just please be quiet?
I'm with your date.
I love that you guys all saw Elvira Madigan. You guys all remember that movie?
I don't remember it, but I remember seeing it, but that was a long time ago.
It was the 60s.
Never heard of it.
It was the 60s.
Was it Ingmar Bergman who did it?
I don't remember.
Ghastly movies. I mean, my husband loves Ingmar Bergman movies.
Yes.
Nothing like that.
No good
So
for
how
that.
about you, Mary Pat?
Well, I feel really trite after the other movies
I
because
know. Mine's going to be that way.
awesome. So right behind me, there is something, I don't know if anybody saw Peter Rabbit, the movie, a couple of years ago.
No, that was supposed to be great.
It was awesome. We took our grandchildren to it and thinking, oh, it's good. What the heck?
Right.
Is so funny. There are so many one-liners that kind of like go way over the kids' heads, but they're in there for adults. And just the way they shot it, it was awesome. I think I like funny movies the best. The other movie that is great, that I have watched this movie a million times.
Oh, Saving Grace.
My children loved it too. So this is about a woman who's widowed and has this estate in Ireland. And when she's widowed, she was very wealthy, but there's no money left. So she takes up growing marijuana in greenhouses to make money. to pay off the estate taxes. And it too is really funny. And then this week we watched one called Fisherman's Friends, which is set in Cornwall. I like things, I guess, I like them set kind of in the English countryside. So this one is a group of fishermen who become, you know, music stars, singing their shanties, their ballads. And so, and it may be that, it's that whole English countryside thing is very comforting. English, Irish, Scottish, it's quite comforting. Whereas I'm not much for the darkness of the Swedes or the Danes or, I mean, certainly I've seen Schindler's List and I've seen other really powerful movies, but I'm inclined towards the lightweight.
Right.
What it says about me, lightweight.
You know what? I'm the same way. I mean, you know, and you know what? When I was like in my 20s, if a movie wasn't dark, I didn't think it was, you know, it was like it had to like
important.
It had to be important and it had to be dark, and you know, and that showed how smart I was. And then we would talk about it afterwards, and we should have, you know, had a cigarette and an espresso and be talking about it. But the truth is, you know, the movie that immediately comes to mind when it's favorite movies for me is When Harry Met Sally. And I just love that movie because it just kind of makes me laugh from start to finish. And the scene that I always think about most, which is not the one you're going to imagine that I think about most, but that one too, is when Billy Crystal's there in the car, you know, they're doing the road trip across the country, and he's eating these grapes and he's being such a jerk. And he turns around to spit the grape seeds out the window, and the window's rolled up, so they stick onto the window. And he's just such evidence of what a dingbat,
dork,
bad apple this guy is, and just not good. And anyways, but it just cracks me up. And and Carrie Fisher is in that too. And she's like trying to fit you know, set Meg Ryan up with some more people after she's broken up with Harry. And they say, you know, she said, well, what about so-and-so? Oh, he's dead. And, you know, she tears up the card. She's got her Rolodex. And then, oh, what about so-and-so? And they say, he's married. And she's like, crimps the corner of the card, but leaves it in the Rolodex. I just thought, I mean, that kind of stuff is just genius to me. Anyway, and the other, you know, I'm a total sucker for White Christmas too. I watch White Christmas every year, and Danny Kaye and Bing Crosby, and they're kind of running around, and you know, and the singing and the, you know, whatever, and we're going to help the old, you know, sergeant, what's his face, you know, because colonel or, you know, whatever his rank was, and sorry, officers, and you know, help him save the ski place in Vermont and stuff. I'm just a total sucker for that. So anyways, those I think would be mine. And yeah, what fun. We could just talk about movies all day.
Yeah. Movies are fun.
There is a new movie out, and I can't remember it completely. The Training of the Octopus or something like that.
Yes.
My Octopus Friend. It was incredible. And they are so smart. And he was able to befriend the octopus, and the octopus is actually on his shoulder. I mean, that's something that everybody should see. It's just incredible.
I agree. That's Netflix, I think.
Yeah, like it is on Netflix.
Is it on Netflix? I also think, yeah, I guess maybe that was, but it was, I was watching with my mouth open.
That was amazing. And the photography, the underwater photography was unbelievable. Right. Do you get Netflix, Jackie?
No, but the thing is, Comcast has their own little thingy that they send me along with, you know, and with offers for this or that. So
yeah,
but
yeah, there's some great stuff. Although you can get glued to the TV these days there's so many channels and so much stuff. And
I'm one of those people who's really not a TV watcher. And when movies kind of swapped over to TV, to being available on your TV, I didn't move with the tide very much. I occasionally will watch something, but rarely.
I'm kind of the same way in the sense that I don't, I think my attention span is getting much, much shorter, because when there's a movie on TV at home, I can watch for about a half hour and then I feel like I need to do the laundry. And then I come back and then I need to do, maybe I need to go do something, do a few dishes or, so, and I was with my siblings not too long ago. And, we don't spend a lot of time now together now that we all live apart and, spouses and things like that. And they all just kept watching me come and go and come and go. And they were like, are you actually enjoying this movie? Like, do you ever sit? And like, I do, but I'll be back. And then, whatever. So, goofy.
I miss this Falmouth Cinema Pub. I can't wait till it reopens.
Yeah. Do you think it will?
Because that's really fun. I don't know.
We'll be back.
I hope so.
I do too.
There's one other movie that I saw. It's actually turned out to be the same year as Schindler's List. I love Anthony Hopkins. I think he's just incredible. And watching Remains of the Day, do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
He was incredible in that. And I remember sitting at the end of the movie, just sitting there. He was just incredible. So that was a wonderful movie.
I should rewatch that. I don't even really remember it.
Yeah, it's really fine acting, and Emma Thompson was in it.
Oh yeah, I love her.
He's really good.
He's now in a new film called The Father.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I heard something about that.
I haven't seen it, but he's just wonderful. Yeah. So that was my second movie.
Silence of the Lambs was on TV a couple of weeks ago, and Kyle started watching that, and I was like, I could watch a few minutes of it, and then I
don't watch that. On it. I don't watch.
Any last comments before we call it a wrap? I guess not. I guess the players have gone.
It's time to go to the movies.
The movies. I know.
Turn it on.
Movie theaters to open again.
Oh yeah. So, we missed the Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I missed the Nickelodeon too. That was great. We probably were all in the Nickelodeon at one time or another watching a movie and not
the same movie. Yeah,
we all knew each other.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you all for watching Over the Back Fence, a conversation with neighbors. We'll be back soon, and let us know what you think about this. Get in touch with Neighborhood Falmouth or get in touch with FCTV. And you can always watch episodes of Over the Back Fence on the Neighborhood Falmouth website. That's www.neighborhoodfalmouth.org. Thanks, everyone. See you next time. Bye.